Alright, game number 1, everybody. We are in the winner bracket final of qualifier number 2. Now, I'm gonna explain everything why we're starting with the winner bracket final here, why there's no draft and what this tournament is all about in just a moment. But let's introduce our players first as we're heading into game number 1 of the best of 5. Over on the left, we got the Cats with Captain Rex on Brightwing. They're playing Khaldor on the Haka. We got Drakia on Genji, Herath on Junkrat, and Mopsio playing tank for them here today with Diablo. Over on the right side, the Exodia stack with, of course, a lot of familiar faces. Dino and Sylvanas, Copenhagen on Blaze. We got Yasu on Lucio, Benny on Johanna, and Gia is playing Maiev in game number 1 of the best of 5 series. So, first things first, as already explained in some of the previous matches, the reason we don't have a draft is because I cast these games from replays. The reason being, we had the Korea tournament and the RavenCourt at the same time. They started at different times because of the time difference from Europe to Korea. But then again, there was a lot of overlap. So when it came to... Oh, nice play by Junkrat. That was sexy. Bye-bye, Maiev. Yep, that's an easy kill. Okay, so as I was about to say, there was a certain amount of overlap, so I couldn't cast everything live from both tournaments, and also the RavenCourt had some rules where I wasn't allowed in certain matches because they were covered by other casters, or yeah, it was a bit strange at times, and they had some interesting rules there. Suffice it to say that while obviously with the playoffs, you know, everything is covered live, for some of the games in these qualifiers, I wasn't able to commentate it live at the time, but I still want to make sure that we have the full coverage here, so I commentated from replays. Replays don't have draft information, so that means we don't have draft for these games. But with that being said, we have 2 qualifiers for the RavenCourt, and out of each qualifier, 2 teams make it into the playoffs. So we have 4 teams in the playoffs that play a double round robin, and my whole goal here was to at least commentate the qualification matches out of the qualifiers. So now we're in qualifier number 2, qualifier B, and this is the winner bracket final. So the winner of this best of 5 series moves on and qualifies directly for the playoffs. The loser has another chance in the losers bracket to make that run. But obviously right now when you're looking at the teams here, I gotta say, just from a name recognition perspective, Exodia stack is the high favorite. You got Dino over here, Yasu, Bad Benny is all of a sudden back on the tank after his little hiatus. So things are definitely getting interesting. There is always a chance that the Cats pull off a bit of an upset. They've done that multiple times in the past, of course, but it's not going to be easy for them at all. Game number 1 kind of sets the tone a little bit for the series, and this is also a map that requires a lot of macro from all the players. You need to control 2 points and then channel in the middle, so even more trouble for players potentially. But yeah, let's see how this is going to play out. Already a lot of aggression, as we could obviously see from the red team. They were able to get themselves a kill too. Initially, of course, the play by Junkrat made things pretty sexy over here. But in this case now, Khaldor becomes the target and gets dropped. The Haka is gone, but so is Johanna down at the bottom of the map. So again, it's a kill for a kill. The problem is that Mopsio is kind of caught on the wrong side of that fight, and that results in him getting eliminated as well. The red team, bit on a tear here, I gotta say. Look at Yasu. He's going in deep, trying to go for Drakia, who gets his cooldown back and is able to swift strike out. But that could have become a big problem for them. And it's already bad enough as is, even without Genji dying. They're losing the fort at the top. So you have Sylvanas on the side of the Exodia stack, and they have a Truden Tried double front line with Johanna and Blaze. And then on top of that, obviously, you now also have Maiev, so essentially 3 melee heroes that they're running here. And currently it's working really well. They get some kills, they leverage Sylvanas, start to do damage there and take the top side fort out, which is pretty big to tell you the truth. I mean, once that you're getting rid of the top fort, it also means that the fountain is just so much more difficult to control for the... sorry, not the fountain. There's no fountain, therefore the shrine is so much more difficult to control for the blue team. The Cats, always a team that was able in the past to claw their way back into difficult matches. Will they be able to pull it off here too? I mean, time will tell. But yeah, we're gonna have a closer look on that. So far, to be honest, they're not too far behind. That fort is a problem. That is definitely an issue. But we'll see how much it impacts the Dragonite and the objective. But just looking at experience, at kills, they're not too far behind yet. Now that passive experience gained with the loss of the fort is of course going to affect things a little bit. But it's still questionable how much that's actually going to be the case. So So right now, Diablo trying to stack things up as well. Mopsio, always kind of fun to see him too, but I would lie if I'd said that it doesn't oftentimes comes with some problems. Mopsio was always a very interesting character. And teams that he plays on, there was always a little back and forth there. But let's see how he does here for the Cats. Well, in this case, it seems like he's gonna go down. And that's a kill. Mayev came in for the final hit, so that's Diablo gone again. And the blue team is getting chased a bit, damn. That momentum is building up massively. Look at the Exodia stack. These guys are killing it now. 6 kills to 2. Now they have a full level lead with those additional kills. Jojo is making her way over towards the top. Bad Benny riding in style with such an epic and unique mount. Oh my god, I've never seen anything of the sorts. And grabs the second shrine for the team so they can try and go for Dragon Knight #1 in this game now at the 5-minute mark. There is an interrupt attempt from Genji in the middle, but let's not forget that in half a level, the red team is also going to grab themselves a level 10 ability. So this is going to play a pretty big role. With level 10, they should be able to do quite a lot here. So we're going to keep our eye on that. Bunker is now coming in. Level 10 abilities also grant us, in this case, for Sylvanas, not the Wailing Arrow, but actually, we are getting Mind Control for Sylvanas. Alright, so Mind Control in the house, already being used here against Mopsio. Yeah, with Diablo, it's always a little bit of a stretch. I find it hard to believe that he has a mind to be controlled in the first place. But talking about Diablo, of course, not Mopsio. But somehow they manage. The Haka, that's at least the big advantage on the side of the blue team, that they're running a few globals, and he could use that to move towards the top and start to do his work there. So retaking the shrine delays the red team a bit further, but they are still attempting to leverage the level 10 abilities. Taking down a fort at the bottom of the map would of course great. Blast Shield comes in, and Junkrat dies. Junkrat is gone, he gets quickly eliminated. Now we have Brightwing destroyed too, and woof, this is getting a bit tricky because that's fort #2 that falls. It means that you have no fountain at any of those shrines anymore. Your camp gets stolen away, and while your opponent just barely locks in level 10 for themselves, all of a sudden the wall at the bot lane gets attacked too. And yeah, I mean, we got Sylvanas here in the mix, so they're already breaking through that wall pretty successfully. Even if it gets defeated right here, this push, it still means that the bot lane is already opened up and we're only 6.5, 7 minutes into the game. That's tough. Tough to deal with. Oh, but if they can get a few kills. First, got Bunker already out. Sylvanas currently with top damage in the game on the 21,000 that she has. Drag here jumping away. Genji, yeah. There's still a few Siege Giants, by the way, at the bottom of the map, if I see this correctly. So they need to send somebody down here, and it's going to be Menaldor, the love child of Mena and Khaldor. Clearly. An homage as the nickname. But the Keeper's already taken a bit of damage. Not a whole lot, but hey, every single point matters. Step by step. Every journey starts with a first step. Yeah, okay, so with the fortune cookie wisdom over here out of the way, we got level 13 talents kicking in. So right now we got Remorseless. By the way, as much fun as I make of that line, it is true. So people always... I have that conversation actually a lot with people when it comes about getting a little bit fitter and trying to do something for your health, and people always think they have to spend like hours and hours in the gym or do sports or whatever. It's absolutely not true. If you just do a little bit and start with that and do it consistently, you're going to be set up for for a long, long time. So changes everything, even if you just do 5 to 10 minutes a day. And it's much, much better than doing absolutely nothing. So we can make fun of it, but there is a kernel of truth to it, of course. Now, as it stands, a bit of an ass kicking from the Dragon Knight, and Diablo is the recipient, as they're now going for the remaining fort in the middle of the map. So this one is going to get annihilated too, which means that the entire outer ring of defense is gone. Mind control on Genji. He needs healing, and he gets healing. So Genji is fine. Next tether on Diablo as they're going for Mopsio again, and the Mops is gone. So it's Diablo dying, but at least this time he had his soul stacks ready, so he is going to be back. Now they're going for another move onto Genji, but they can't kill him, not even with that kick that we just saw from the DK. But they can definitely start breaking through the wall at the bottom of the map. So starting to get a bit more work done here. Or the middle, I should say. start to go for that as well, which at the end of the day means more keeps that will take damage right now. So, yeah, not too shabby. That lead in experience has been extended. We have 9 kills to 2, and that leads to a 2-level advantage, essentially. Level 13 talents are now ready for the blue team, but the Cats are definitely in trouble. If they don't win a team fight right now and force it quickly, then they're going to be in a world of pain. Disc and Mind Control used at the same time, so a bit of a lack of communication here from the Exodia stack. Basically just wasting a cooldown here, but besides that, not having a massive impact or anything. So, yeah, half a level until 16. That's going to be the next one. Down to the bottom of the map now. We're looking at Drag here getting attacked again, but he should have still his cooldowns ready so he can move out of this. Damage output, we have by now 27,000 for Sylvanas. The situation hasn't really changed too much. She's still the top damage dealer in the game, followed by Maiev, Junkrat and Genji in that order. The only one, by the way, that hasn't died yet on the blue team is Genji. So, yeah, he's the only one. Now, the globals are at the top of the map, so we have Brightwing and the Haka trying to push this now. And both of them can then start jumping down to the bottom of the map. The whole idea is to try and close this experience gap a bit, but this is a massive gap. This is not like we're talking about half a level here. This is 2 levels, and the level 16 talent advantage is now a massive, massive tool in the kit of the Exodia stack. So they're coming in with their power spike, and they're trying for the keep very quickly as the next shrine gets announced. Genji is already gone. Yep, he's annihilated. Now they're trying to follow it up with the second kill and Meldor. That one at least they are not able to pull off, but they're still doing some work on the keep, which is of course at the end of the day the ultimate goal for them. Try and take that out quickly before the opponent even has a chance to come to level 60 talents themselves. And they can go for another Dragonite if they really wanted here. Sylvanas again, keeping them busy, and that keep is going to fall 100%. I mean, it's a 4 versus 5, a level 16 advantage to boot. This game controlled from start to finish, essentially, from the Exodia stack. They suffered a few hero losses, especially in the early game, because of that fantastic move that we saw from Junkrat. But right now, it is definitely the Exodia stack that is calling all the shots here. They're firmly in the driver's seat, and they are probably going to try for another Dragonite now. But, yep. Things are starting to look pretty good here. Now, top side, that's where we're having Drag here trying to bring this back. I mean, they have half a level to 16. That will at least allow them to fight on even talents. They haven't taken a single fort out yet. So a comeback in this position is not impossible. They need to get level 16 and then force a fight. We've seen them in the past, but it's difficult to break through that momentum swing from your opponent. So yeah, it's going to be pretty dicey. The Haka was trying to pull something at the bottom of the map, but he couldn't. Dragonite has now been taken. The one thing I should still add as the Dragonite push comes in, it might feel that it's already late game, but we're only 12 minutes in. So that is making a big difference here right now. That early game means that the Dragonite is not that strong yet. This is also one of the reasons why they don't go immediately for the core, but instead are trying for the keep, because they realize that it might just not be possible to go for the core already. Dragonite is not that powerful yet. If they, on the other hand, get the keep and maybe get also a few kills with this, they could then afterwards follow up on the core. So, yeah, that's exactly what they're trying to do. Keep will be destroyed, and more catapult pressure at the bottom of the map in the mid lane means, of course, that you're gaining more map control. Against those 2 globals is also going to be pretty powerful. Dragon's Breath is out, and it's not going to be enough. 16 talents already for the blue team, have been for a couple of seconds too. But the Exodia stack just retreats. Again, it's death by a 1,000 needles, which we're essentially seeing right now. So, yeah, they're getting damaged time and time again. Getting absolutely dropped and murdered over here. And the catapults need to be dealt with. That's where the Haka comes into play. So we're seeing Brightwing taking a big role. Oh, yeah. Gia on the money pick. Riding into battle in style. Love it. Oh, but Junkrat absolutely destroyed. Nice. Yep, and Mopsio goes down too. That's 2 kills already. And we have nearly level 20 on the board right now. So, yeah. This is actually we're getting very close to a potential death blow here if nothing changes. And again, as I said at the outset, the Cats are a team that have clawed their way back into a game from so many different situations already. But the red team is absolutely stacked with top players, and they're just chasing it down right now. Genji is already on the run, is missing out on some cooldowns. Now that Maiev is coming in, this is going to be the death of him for sure. 14 kills to 2, level 20, and the attacks just keep continuing. So they're continuing to make these plays, this time for the Bridge of Death even, going into the choke point, and they don't care. So they want to break through that last keep. It's actually kind of funny too that they are going for all of the keeps here as well now, maximizing the experience they're gonna get. Kappa. So yeah, it's a 3-level gap by now, guys. It's a 3-level gap. Benny, on the other hand, if he falls, it's a lot of XP that you can get if you take some heroes on the red team down now. Khaldor connects the tongue, nice, but Benny's not gonna fall. Instead, Diablo is getting crushed again. That's Diablo now down for the 5th time. Brightwing has also fallen, and the keep at the top is gonna get destroyed. They're coming in here for the next attack to go for the core. That's game. It has to be game. 16 kills to 2. There's just no salvaging that situation any longer. Meaning that we have a lead in the best of 5 series here at the winner bracket final of the second qualifier of the RavenCourt for the Exodia stack. The favorites are doing well here. They take another kill against Junkrat, and that's going to spell the end of the first game in the best of 5 series. GG, well played. The Exodia stack with the victory. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. Garden of Terror is the second map in the series, and well, the Exodia stack has taken the lead on the first map. Over on the left side we got the Cats now with Captain Rex on Rhaegar, Khaldor on Dehaka again. Mopsio has switched over to Muradin, Herath was able to lock himself Hogger, and we have Drak here on Hanzo. On the right side, Falstad. Talked about it in past matches. The birdie getting real popular again in Europe. So Dino and Falstad for the Exodia stack. We got Copenhagen on Malthael. Yasu is playing Brightwing. And in the meantime, we're getting Gia on Sylvanas and Bad Benny on Nubarak. So you have the follow-up on a Nubarak with Brightwing with the Poly. There's not really an additional stun that comes together from this, but just generally speaking, we're running 2 globals. Actually 3 if you count also the blue team. And on the red team side, we have 2 globals that are currently running here. And, well, let's see how they're going to do on that map. Obviously, when you're playing on Garden of Terror, what you always want is some control over the mercenary camps as well. So that's something that teams are going to be looking for. Hogger, Dehaka are both fitting that bill very nicely. And then on top of that, of course, you also now have Rhaegar with a lightning shield. So, generally speaking, the lineup for the blue team has a lot of nice tools for what the map requires from them. They want to bring this back, but game number 1 was a fairly dominant affair in favor of the Exodia stack. And let's just be honest about it, Exodia stack, in my personal opinion, not only one of the favorites to make it out of the second qualifier into the playoffs, but also one of the favorites to potentially win this entire tournament. I mean, this is a stacked team that we're seeing here, and one of the things that I probably enjoy the most is that Benny is back out of retirement, so yeah, also good fun for that. Muradin gets murdered, and it seems like the red team is continuing where they left off in game number 1. And game number 1 was a pretty dominant affair. They did great there. So, that's said and done. Kamsa, now that they've spawned, immediately getting attacked. And now also the chance for the globals to show off a bit at the bottom of the map. Let's have a look on who is able to grab the seats, of course, on this one as well. But at least for now, we have topside, still a bit of a push on this with the camp. They have Sylvanas again. And since they are running Sylvanas now for the second time, this also means automatically that if you don't immediately gather up a couple of your players in order to defend against this, Sylvanas is going to wreck you with one of the camps and just take those structures down. The early leading experience goes over to the Exodia stack, nothing crazy, nothing to write home about. Just off to a decent start here, step by step, as we established earlier. So now in this case, we don't get possession, we get the unstable poison for Gia. And Siege Giants also up in the middle. Essentially, the teams have taken the same amount of mercenary camps. First seed is now also announced. And Uburak diving out. Benny, careful. Falstad is flying towards the top lane. They want Hanzo, and Thrakia is in trouble and gets sniped mid-air by another lightning hit. So, bye-bye. Hanzo is gone. That's 2 kills in favor of the Exodia stack already. Benny becomes the target of Hogger for just a moment, but is able to make his way back out of the fight. With the seed now up on the map, question is, how is the blue team going to react? The position definitely favors them, so they need to figure out how they want to react to this. Are they just going to be able to move in and take it? Is the red team going to start to interfere? Or how is this all going to be playing out for them? Dino also starting to make his next little play. Goes for Muradin here, whereas in the middle we have the 3-man stacking up. Now, once that you start taking... They're actually grabbing it early. There's always a chance, or, well, there's a play that you can technically try and execute in Garden of Terror where you just delay grabbing the seed if you think that this is going to favor your team composition, to just delay the objective for as long as possible. It will eventually force your opponent to move over and try and claim it. But in this case, they are taking the freebie. The seed is grabbed. Level 7 talents are now kicking in. And with Brightwing coming together, they want to go for a quick snipe on the Haka, and they get him. Essence or no essence, doesn't matter. He gets caught and killed, so the Haka now gone. 3 kills to 0. Mopsy already on the way back out, and, well, with the help of Sylvanas and also Nuborok just spawning beetle after beetle, they break through that top wall. And I just love the way that Exodia stack is making these crisp rotations right now, where they're always moving over, starting to take these on. So, yeah, quick move over towards the top. Menel'Dor is now starting to move into Yasuo in a corner, and Brightwing is dead. Brightwing put into a corner and getting pummeled from every single side. So the Fruit Fly is gone, and they're hoping to take Gia down too, who is able to escape. I really thought that someone, maybe Hanzo, you know, comes in and just snipes him away here. But that, unfortunately, for the Cats did not happen. What, by the way, happened, I discussed in the first game a little bit about, you know, doing something for your personal health. And somebody shared in Twitch chat a story, which I found actually pretty cool. Said that he was severely overweight and really out of shape, and then started to just walk every day for I think a kilometer or 2. And the first few times drenched in sweat, even after doing that. That's how much out of shape he was. And then just over time being able to increase this, lose a lot of weight, and extend the range of the walk. So I think it was Psychophil who did that. It's a big shout out to him. And that's exactly the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. You just gotta start. You gotta start small, and it's all about consistency. Problem is always, consistency isn't sexy. People look for shortcuts and, yeah, don't want to hear this. But again, if you find yourself in a similar situation, just start small. Start very small and just do it regularly and be consistent about it. And you will be amazed by results that you're going to get over time. And that essentially does not only apply to fitness and health, but to pretty much everything you want to do in life. Yeah, talking about doing things that... Oh, poor Rhaegar. Yeah, well, they're definitely cat people, aren't they? They dropped everything on him. Malthael with the last rites, just absolutely crushing him here towards the end. There's just no kill like overkill. They came in and they murdered him. So that's 4 kills, 2-1. We have heroic abilities on both sides. The big advantage, obviously, in that execution, I'm not going to call it a battle, was that the Exodia stack already had the heroics and the cats didn't. So that's kill number 4 now, so 4 kills to 1. More camps grabbed, each team now has a seed. But they're looking for more. They want to go, yeah, they want Mopsio. He's able to jump out, nicely done. And with that, still a bit of a push executed at the top. There's 3 defenders, so they're not gonna commit too much to that. But at the bottom, it's the end of Hogger. Nice. Nicely done. So, they are able to get another kill in. That's kill number 5 now. They're moving through the bot lane, taking another camp out here. And obviously, we are just seeing them break one wall after another. These are these crisp rotations that I pointed out earlier. They always find a weakness somewhere on the map, rotate towards it, and then start to take structures out. The walls are all opened up, which means that the forts are now slowly starting to take some damage. And yeah, we'll see. This is now rotating in from the top. We got one level of lead. The arrow, oh, gets dodged. Arrow gets completely dodged, doesn't connect with anything. Hogger gets cocooned. Here comes the quick hit with Rhaegar using the Ancestral on himself. You remember those times when Rhaegar couldn't actually do that? When Rhaegar couldn't Ancestral himself for reasons? Blizzard was like, hey Blizzard, like, what's the reason that Rhaegar can't Ancestral himself? We don't know. So, yeah. Thankfully, at some point, they reversed that, but yeah, that killed the entire hero for some time. Anyways, inevitable end is now in. Malthael's still relying on that one single stack that he had earlier. So we now have 6 kills to 1, and still that level advantage. And this is really the thing that worries me the most, that we have consistently these advantages in experience for the red team. They have showcased that in game number 1. And they are now just following the exact same MO in this particular game. So the seed gets picked up by the blue team. That's actually some silver lining for them. If they are getting the third, then it means they will get their first Garden Terrors. But up at the top, gank attempt against Falstad, and he barrels out at the last moment possible. So Dino, paying attention, was dangerous for a second, but he is able to retreat. Now the damage output is actually interesting too, because Dino is currently... Murden? It's Murder at the bottom of the map. And they might even get Rhaegar, who got cocooned too. But Falstad is top damage in the game. Arrow is good, but not good enough. He still dies. Even the shockwave from Hogger didn't help out. And now they're in that weird spot where they kind of committed to a fight. But they're up against way too many heroes. Gust into a corner, and bye-bye Hogger. Hogger gets also destroyed. Job well done. And they're even getting the Haka. And now it is the fort. So yeah, fantastic play right there. I mean, again, they are able to follow up on this. So Falstad comes in, gets the Gust angle perfectly right, and then they take down Hogger, follow up with the Haka. The fort in the middle is now gone. They rotate over to grab the seed. It will be their second seed, by the way. And, of course, the rest of the team is then stealing some Siege Giants away, move towards the top. Malthael is already pushing the lane out. The goal being take down another fort. And at the bottom of the map, Hogger is currently trying to deal with it. This fort is also taking way more damage than it should right now. These minion waves pushing in, dropping it even lower. So once again, we're seeing a very, very dominant performance from the Exodia stack. I mean, up to this point, they went through the cats like hot butter through cheese. So absolutely crushing them here. And if you haven't seen it yet, check out the link in the description. With the shop, we have finally hot butter through cheese merch in the shop. And it looks awesome. We even have an apron! Rob was actually the one of the admins. He said like, hey, we need an apron. We need a hot butter through cheese apron. It's too good, we need it. And I told him, this is a dumb idea. Who wants an apron? Like, t-shirts, mugs, all fine. Yes, of course. But who wants an apron? And he's just like, dude, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. And if even one apron gets taken, I'm a happy panda. I think right now it's 5 or 6 aprons. And obviously they look amazing. And they're looking really fun. But I called him crazy when he suggested that. And he is happy with every single one that people get. So yeah. Just a bit of a side story. But yeah, the hot butter through cheese merch, definitely a bit special. About as special as Dino. He thinks he can get away here, and I don't think so. I was actually waiting for him to try and fly, but he didn't even have a gust cooldown. It is still Garden Terrors for the red team though. While Falstad was being chased, they grabbed themselves another seed, and now it's Garden Terrors on the map. Obviously, they gotta be a bit careful with this, because, well, we have only 4 on the map. Falstad can fly back in once he respawns. But the arrow comes out, and this time it connects beautifully with 3 heroes. Right wing is there to the rescue. Sylvanas gets out. And, oh, right wing again with another safe attempt. This time they're all in the corner. And Ubera gets saved initially. And No way. Okay, thank you. Benny finally dies. I was really thinking for a second that they could maybe keep him alive, but not so much. Murding gets 2 kills. They take an Uberak out. They take Malthael out. It comes at a price though. We're 12 minutes in, and a lot of the keeps have now started to take damage here in the middle, for example. The defense is still decent, don't get me wrong. The keeps are not falling, but every single keep has now at least taken some damage. And the prop... Oh, nice flying kill here from Falstad with the help of the rest of the team to get the Haka. The point still being, you have your walls destroyed, so the walls are opened up. Yasu, talking about getting destroyed, is actually able to get out. Might get Hanzo'd still, but no, Drake missed. Ah, there it is. Yes, only a dead fruit fly is a good fruit fly. So, is able to get the kill. Bit more damage done here up at the top of the map, but at least now, you know, there's a bit of momentum for the blue team. They've been able to get themselves to level 16. We have them, actually 17 in this case even, but point being, they have their level 16 talents. We have now 30,000 damage for Hanzo. They got a few kills, 5 kills to 11. There's still a significant lead for the red team, but hey, they are slowly bringing it back. Alright, so the attacks still continue over here as they're trying to go through the middle and maybe finally take a fort out too. We got 33,000 damage for Malthael. He wasn't able to get himself a second stack for his level 10 ability in that last encounter. The last rights connected, did damage, but it didn't kill anyone. So that was a bit of a problem. So they're not going to get a lot of cooldown reduction for him, but he's still top damage for the team. And now they're invading again. They want the next hit over here. Want to steal the camp away. Camp is about to be taken. There's the Ancestral from Rhaegar, and he still dies. Rhaegar dies, the camp being contested. The blue team gets the camp, but they lost one of their heroes. One of the heroes is still on. Oh, that's number 2. Yep, Holger is gone as well, and with 2 gone and Sylvana still alive, you obviously know what that means. That means that we're gonna see one of the keeps now getting crushed. The lead in experience is still massively significant since it's only half a level until level 20. The Exodia stack just showcasing perfectly why they are the top dogs currently in qualifier number 2. Again, reminder, we are in the winner bracket final. Whoever wins this match, this best of 5, will move on to participate in the playoffs, will be part of the top 4. There's quite a bit of prize money on the line. 3,500, 3,700 euros in total for crowdfunded for this. And, well, let's first of all keep at the bottom of the map destroyed. And now they're moving into the middle and taking another one out. So, 2 keeps. Well, actually, no! They have to actually let this sit. Okay. Yeah, we still want to wait for the level 20. I can pretty much guarantee that keep is going to fall at some point. But for now, it's still standing. So right now they can still rely upon it. Oh, and look at Falstad. Epic Mount on level 20 now for Dino. I love Epic Mount. Epic Mount is such an amazing talent if you're trying to macro around your opponent a little bit. I love that talent so much. I mean, Wind Tunnel is obviously just a fantastic choice and can win you games outright if you connect properly, if you have good angles. But it's just fun to watch Falstad doing exactly this. Just like these little bunny hops to sometimes get a kill, trying to control the side lanes too, and just reposition himself over and over again. So yeah, I love myself some nice Epic Mount plays. They got Hanzo with this, they cocooned Rhaegar, and he doesn't stand a chance either. That's another kill as they're getting the stuns connected, and now the keep in the middle is gonna get crushed. So, yeah. The Haka at the top, Murden at the bottom of the map. The goal for both of them still being the same. Let's get experience. Let's somehow get XP so that we got a chance to bring this back. And right now, it's not happening. The attack towards the core. Shield is gone. The core is losing hit points. And they are in dire straits right now. The lead for the Exodia stack already after game number 1. But here with Garden of Terror, they're extending that lead at 2-0. After 2 games played in the best of 5, the Exodia stack absolutely dominant here. GG. Third map in the best of 5. Well, we got a match point. We have Aldrich Pass as our third map. And the cats are in trouble. They're down 2 maps already, and things are gonna get spicy now because they really have to bring the pain here. We already have them on the left side, this time with Anduin. We also, on top of that, see Draco on Sylvanas. We got Hirath on Hanzo, Maynardor on Urel, and Mopsio on Nubarak. So a bit more of an aggressive style, and also going for that combo that we've seen specifically from, let's say, the Koreans in the past. We are playing things out with Nubarak and Urel. On the right side, though, with a very solid 2-0 lead and a nearly perfect performance. Dino and Tracer now for the Exodia stack. We get Bad Benny on Muradin. Copenhagen Samuro. Always nice to see that. Gia on Junkrat and Yasu on Brightwing. If the red team is able to win this one, if they're able to lock in the W right here, that would then mean that they qualify for the playoffs, as already highlighted earlier. So we'll see if they can pull it off or not. But given game number 1 and game number 2, not just the results, but just simply how they played it, it is definitely possible. I mean, they did great. I can't wait, honestly. I mean, I personally, I feel no matter what happens here, they will qualify for the playoffs, even if they drop down into the lower bracket. I think I can't imagine a scenario in which the Exodia stack is not able to qualify for the top 4, given the gameplay that we've seen so far. And I really want to see how they're doing in the playoffs then, because it should be pretty fun. And also, Bad Benny hasn't lost a step, has he now? Yeah, he's doing absolutely great here. I still miss some of his typical picks, you know, just like going into that continuous variant pick that in the past he always sported, so we haven't seen that here yet. But definitely something that eventually is going to make an appearance, I suppose. Now, Junkrat is already going for the camp. Blue team is a little bit more diligent about it. Send 3 of their heroes over to take it down as quickly as possible. So, yep, that's a quick one right there. Junkrat is actually faster. So, that didn't work out for them the way that I expected it to, I'm not gonna lie. Down at the bot lane, though, we have more damage done against some of the walls, so they're starting to slowly break this down. Yeah, so far so good. And we still have 1 global only, and that's obviously Brightwing. It's not really somebody that can control a side lane properly, but definitely a hero that is going to be capable of just soaking some experience on the side if need be for that. But yeah, hits keep coming at the bottom. Samuro obviously going to be an absolute pain. I mean, one of the things, Samuro is just like insanely annoying. He's like one of the most annoying heroes that we currently have in the game here. And if you are in a position where you can just utilize him over and over again to yeah, drive your opponent into madness, then hey, even better. So this is something that they're going to try and do as this all continues. And it will be interesting to see how the cats are going to react to that and how much they can track him down and then destroy him. So far we haven't seen a kill yet. Everybody has been exchanging a few blows there in these skirmishes, with the prisoner camp now coming up in just another moment. And yeah, Hanzo already sitting down at the bottom of the map here. Hirath, nothing back for mana. And everybody essentially prepping also for the first objective. It's now up on the map and ready. Normally we're waiting for level 7 talents to kick in before we're seeing any moves towards that. But you have Samuro. We've been talking how Anubura can come over to the camp, spawn a couple of beetles, distract the grunts, and then, you know, just start the channel. But Samuro can do the same thing. There's a few more heroes in the game that can pull that off. Gazlo, for example, would be another one. The one that's the most popular and the one that will see the most play on this map for that reason is, of course, Anubarak. Masquerade has popularized that, what was it, like a year ago, a year and a half, and they've done really well with it. So now most of the European teams and players are fully aware that we need to track the movements of Anubarak if he's picked on Alterac. But Samuro can do the same thing now for them. So Copenhagen is going to be continuously trying to apply some pressure onto that prisoner camp and see if he can pull something off there. Now, on top of that, obviously, we're now having also still the push coming through the middle. Down at the bottom of the map, Brightwing is assisting Samuro. And at the top, we have a 1v1 with Urel and Tracer. So yeah, so at least Tracer is soon going to move down here. Anubarak gets hit a little bit hard and has to retreat. So Mopsio is now down to 50% of its HP. Tracer still nibbling, so Dino is making his moves. I'm just trying to farm some free damage here. And once again, Copenhagen, look at it. Over and over and over again. Just applying pressure here. The blue team is now trying to respond with aggression. They're moving into the middle and saying, okay, you can channel, but we're going to destroy your structures. Now, there's a bit of a bold choice here, because Sylvanas might not be in the hands of the red team this time. She has been picked up by their opponents. But you can still do a lot if you get the Raiders. So if you get the objective, you should at least be able to break through essentially all the walls. I like that there was damage done, and now we have the blue team also retreating to make sure that the objective is not just given up for free. But these plays that we're seeing from Copenhagen right now will be continued throughout the rest of the game. He is going to be the one to apply pressure onto the objective and then always just simply jump out whenever there is some reaction from the opponent. Now, the Exodia stack, obviously, they're in a similar spot too. I highlighted earlier how Nubara can make the same play. He's kind of the OG on this one. And they are doing exactly that. So the grunts are going to start with the channel, get interrupted again. Nice little place. I like that. Benny is hopping over though and is stopping it cold. At least was thinking about it. He nearly got Hanzo'd over here. This is actually... They got a kill. This looks very much like they're going to grab it. Interrupt is now happening. Can they... Benny gets interrupted again. And there it is. That's the Raiders. Or the cavalry in this case. Well played. Sweet little move, and that's exactly what they needed to do here. Okay. Color me surprised a little bit. I did not think that the Exodia stack would allow this to happen. But now the first objective has indeed been clutched in by the blue team, by the Cats. As long as they... Oh no, you want Sylvanas for this, you really do. And they're able to save her. Both teams now on level 10 abilities. Once again, we have Blade Storm. Sorry, we don't have Blade Storm. We have Illusion Master standard for Samuro. And now the play through the bottom of the map. Sylvanas really has to chip in a bit if they want to make sure that they're not only getting the fort, but maybe, just maybe, even some damage on the fort itself. So yeah, take the wall out, go for the fort, do what you can here. Top side, Urel is pushing against Tracer. We're very early in the game. I mean, again, this isn't scaling insanely or anything, so... Any kind of damage that you can do is great. If you can take the walls down, fantastic. Not a single kill. Again, gotta highlight that here. But yeah, with the next couple of moves in the bot lane, Fort has taken a bit of damage, just a smidge. And now the play over at the top as Dino is coming in from Menaldor again. And they're fighting here again. Look at the corner. Muritin, Benny gets healed from Brightwing. There could still be a problem. Wailing Arrow used by Sylvanas, trying to ensure that they at least get one kill here. That hasn't happened so far. But some pretty neat attempts to make it work. Just a slightly bit unsuccessful. I like the aggression though, but it's also pretty crazy to me that we're now nearly 8 minutes into the game and we haven't seen a kill yet. And not for a lack of fights. We saw plenty of skirmishes between the two teams already, but nobody has been able to get a kill and ride that momentum train. So it's about the camps to be taken again. 5-minute mark obviously has already passed some time ago, which means that the bosses are now up on the map at the top and the bottom. So outside of just fighting for the objective, you can also make another move for boss and make the play there. Can they get a kill? That's a lot of CC on Mopsio. He's still able to burrow charge. Oh, it's so good for him. And Samuro is now the one up against Urel at the top lane. So as usual, he is a pain in the butt. And will then rotate maybe also towards the middle again at some point. Talking about the middle, Arrow straight onto Junkrat. But Brightwing, I gotta give some credit to Yasuo here. The reaction time of Yasuo is absolutely fantastic. He just comes in, instantly sees there's a problem, gets called out, the arrow connects, and Brightwing is already on his way. So no problem whatsoever to save the target. Really well done by Yasuo. And he is keeping that up for the team absolutely perfectly. So still 8-9 minutes in, nobody has died yet. Everybody is playing this super careful while at the same time pushing and trying to be aggressive. But they're not committing fully to these fights yet. They always make sure that they have a path back and that they're not getting completely murdered here. And then again, attack over in the middle. That could change things slightly. Look at it. A lot of poke happening from Junkrat specifically, of course. And now with level 13 talents on each... Like, this is another thing, of course. we've seen a lot of fights, but we haven't seen a lot of kills, which also means that in experience, you're essentially relying mainly on your minion experience. And this is where both of the teams do a very good job. So, mercenary experience, very similar. Minion experience is a slight advantage for the red team. But then we have a structural advantage for the blue team that makes up for it. So, not a big gap in experience this time, which means no talent advantages. And this is something that the Exodia stack in the previous 2 games have consistently been able to rely upon, but not so much in game number 3. So, if you want to go for a reverse sweep and you want to start things up here, this is maybe the way to go. Then again, now they're trouble. Hanzo! Oh, there's the first blood. 10 minutes in the game, Hanzo falls. They were hoping to follow it up with the second kill, but I think they're going to settle for the objective and they can at least grab that. Yeah, nicely done. Well played. Hanzo goes down. Couldn't have happened to a nicer person. And that is the end of Sylvanas. So Sylv gets crushed too. Hanzo's already gone. They go for the objective. They want to go for the fort. So this is that dreaded momentum that the Exodia stack has been able to build up time and time again. Quick jump over to Captain Rax. Now they still got to deal with the top. Mopsio a bit low. Mopsio jumps out and gets wrecked. That was the wrong direction to borrow charge away. So yeah, he gets murdered. 3 kills to 0 now. 1 level advantage. There's that lead again that we talked about earlier. They want to go for Hanzo. They're really starting to carpet the floor here with all that damage and AoE that they have. Objective has, by the way, not started up yet. And now Samuro is finally taking care of it. Nice arrow connect, though. Blue team is still fighting back. It's a 5 versus 4. But they still got a chance here. The light bomb connects beautifully, though. And the wailing arrow does as well. Love that combo. Wailing arrow into Sylvanas. But it's Hanzo that dies. The red team is still alive. Ah, that's crazy. Just as it seemed like, yep, here's the moment. Here's the opportunity to get some kills. After Sylvanas hits the silence on them. They lose Hanzo. Now the rest is dropping low. Urel is low. Sylvanas is low. Yes, Anubrak is back and is trying to chip in, but it's too little too late. 16 is close. The objective is about to be grabbed by the Exodia stack. Tracer has now 39,000 damage. 32,000 for Hanzo, and the push at the top, where yeah, this is gonna hurt. I mean, think about it for just a moment. We have a 1.5 level advantage, a level 16 lead, and they're gonna get the objective now at the 12-minute mark. So this one is going to be a problem because there will be forts that fall now. I mean, to make matters worse, if you're looking towards the middle, the fort here has obviously already been destroyed earlier, but now they have a chance to go for the one top side and at the bottom of the map, because let's not forget that Tracer's completely alone at the bot lane. Totally alone. That fort doesn't stand a chance. This is gonna get destroyed 100%. There's nothing to be done about that. And yeah, at the top, Hanzo is now getting destroyed too. The defense here is at least nice, but the problem is that they're breaking through the mid lane. They're trying to open up a path to the keep. And Tracer is escorting the the raiders at the bottom of the map through to the next one. So one wall is already open. Top side, they're trying to keep them away from the fort and from the defense. Copenhagen is moving in. Still a 2-level gap. They're 2 levels ahead here. What a dominant showcase again from the Exodia stack. Tracer is now at least being met by some resistance at the bottom. It's Urel who goes up against her, but this keep is already taking damage. So, yep, one keep opened up in the mid lane, keep at the bottom has even taken damage, and the blue team is just desperately clinging to whatever they have left in regards to infrastructure on the map. Hanzo with an arrow that missed completely at the bot lane, was aiming for Tracer here, but Dino was just dodging away from it. Just zipping around them. The Nexus Mosquito here. Yeah, the Spanish Summer Nights at this point. I hate it, by the way. I'm always the guy that mosquitoes go for, and it is annoying as hell. I always meet people. There's always, like, you know, when you meet up with a couple of people, there's a few new ones in there, and yeah, you just talk to people and you talk about, at some point, you know, the first mosquitoes show up and you talk about it, and everybody says like, oh yeah, I'm always bitten. And why the hell am I always the one that then turns out to have, like, I don't know, the sweetest blood or whatever, but the mosquitoes always go for me, and then everybody is laughing. It's like, ha ha, it's like a vacation. I was like, yeah, screw you. I would love to have that one day as well, but they always go for me. Something's clearly wrong with me. Mosquitoes love me way too much, and it's not something, yeah, this is not in no way, shape, or form is something that I enjoy. So yes, all mosquitoes need to die. If there's one species they could remove from this planet that I would be happy about, it would be mosquitoes. Probably have a lot of knock-on effects. I don't know, some weird birds or something, but hey, God, I hate mosquitoes. Always like itching all over, getting bitten all day, every day. Yeah. Hanzo goes down. And of course they took the forts, so yeah, now we have a boss at the top, a boss at the bottom. I mean, they're going really for a full-on checkmate move here, aren't they? Mirrodin dying is, I suppose, the only good thing right now for the blue team, because that means that their opponent has only 4 on the map. I mean, they do too, but Hanzo will at least spawn in time for the defense. Mirrodin won't be back here, but they're losing ground and they're losing it quickly. At the bottom of the map, for example, they lose the first keep, which means that 1 armor shield is now removed from the core. And they're going to, yeah, try to follow up on that. I don't, maybe with the objective. Mirrodin is at least going to be back for that. Not much more that they can do on this. So, yeah. I had to actually like be quiet for a second because there was a weird sound coming from the outside, and it was either it's a baby that is getting drowned, or it's somebody that with like some chainsaw is like cutting a tree or something. And it's a little bit farther away, so I wasn't quite sure, but the guy with the chainsaw, I'm letting do his thing. If they're drowning babies, then I would have had to, you know, rush out and knock some heads around. So yeah, in this case, yeah, apologies for that. But I had to be sure, you know, you never know. it's a really weird whine. It continues the entire time, but yeah, okay. We're definitely chopping some trees there. Anyways, level 20 talents are in. We get Cocoon against Mirrodin. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to draw. Well, actually, they have also a silence here. Nah, they don't have the burst damage for it. So, with that, we now have the next big attack for Anduin, and he is alive. What? Yes, okay, that didn't last long. Anduin is gone. Objective is about to be taken. There it is. So that's Raiders on the map, 5 versus 4. Things are already going pretty badly for the blue team, but now the Raiders are coming in as well. They already are short 2 of their players. Guys, this seems like it's a clean 3-0 sweep for the Exodia stack against the Cats. I mean, what a display of strength here. The Cats are not a pushover team by any means. I mean, these teams are actually pretty decent. But obviously, when you measure them up against some of the best players that we have on the European server right now, they're still falling short a little bit. Fantastic performance from the Exodia stack. They go for the final keep. That means that we have not a single armor shield standing on the core, and that's going to be a game one way or another, even if it's just the Raiders taking it out. 58,000 damage for Tracer, heavily ahead here. Sylvanas is trailing her by a few thousand hit points, and is currently sitting at 51k. But damn, what a performance from the Exodia stack. They qualify for the playoffs, they make it into the top 4 with a clean sweep like hot butter through cheese in the winner bracket final of the second qualifier here at the RavenCourt. Congratulations, nicely done, GG, and well played.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.